How do you feel about the state of hip hop right now?
Okay. So first, I think we need to acknowledge the positivity inside of hip hop because there's people for a long time who have been fighting against the evil and against the negativity and shining a bright light inside of hip hop. Hip hop has been, the form of a lot of people being able to do a lot of good in this world because of hip hop. So that side exists. But as far as the negativity in hip hop, of course, the negativity in hip hop is huge. It's all over the place. And for us to be okay with it and to act like we shouldn't speak out against it, and all we're allowed to do is just celebrate hip hop, man, that's trash right there. That is trash. That means that we are allowing hip hop to literally do the work of the devil, to do the work of the KKK, to do the work of white supremacy, but we're doing it for them. We're allowing ourselves to become pawns in a bigger chess game that's meant to keep us down. Of course, that's the case, yo. And people have to acknowledge that, because if people don't want to acknowledge that, if all we want to say is, oh, you hating if you say that about hip hop, or you clout chasing if you say that about hip hop, then you're part of the problem for not acknowledging that there's certain aspects of hip hop that are extremely unhealthy and detrimental to our community. And there's no way to try to ride the fence or beat around the bush, man. We got to draw a line. Nobody knows what hip hop stands for and what hip hop will not tolerate. Nobody could tell you, hey, this is what crossed the line in hip hop. We ain't got no boundaries. That's like when people want to talk about females and be like, oh man, she ain't got no boundaries. She'll do anything with anybody, whenever. Man, that's hip hop. What you mean? That's what hip hop is. That's what hip hop is, bro. Ain't no boundaries. So when somebody like myself come along and be like, yo, I'm drawing a line in the sand, just being like, yo, who represent righteousness and who wants to represent that inside of hip hop, and who wants to represent evil and negativity inside of hip hop? Drawing that line make people uncomfortable, you heard me? Drawing that line make people be like, wait. I can't just be lukewarm, and I can't just be positive when I feel like it and negative when I feel like it. Come on, man. Lukewarmness, it says God spits that out. God is like, man, be hot or cold. So we got to look at hip hop. And if all we want to do is champion everything about hip hop, man, we championing a bunch of negativity and evil that also needs to be checked. Do you champion something or do you check something? And just because you're checking something don't mean that it's not love at the core. You can still have love for somebody or something, but you got to be able to check it to make it right, man. We want no accountability inside of hip hop. So of course, let's acknowledge the positive. Let's acknowledge the light bearers, you know what I'm saying? But there are over 13,000 McDonald's in this country. That's unhealthy food. There are a little bit over 500 Whole Foods in this country. That's a lot healthier than McDonald's. But there's always going to be more of what's unhealthy than what there is that's healthy, yo. So inside of hip hop, of course, you part of the minority if you're trying to represent positivity. You part of the minority if you're trying to represent righteousness. We have to literally learn how to resist what's unhealthy and negative just to be able to interact with hip hop in a positive way. Because what's negative and unhealthy is automatically being pushed on us. Oh, they got that on every radio station. Oh, they got that on every corner. Oh, that's on every playlist. The negativity and the unhealthy aspect. But what's positive, you got to look a little harder for that. And you got to really stand on real firm business, you heard me? You got to stand on big business if you want to represent something righteous or positive in this game. And if you're a fan, you got to be able to say, nah, I'm not going to listen to or promote a lot of what's being pushed on me because like it just don't feel right in my spirit. You got to learn how to do all this stuff if you in hip hop. Because what's negative, hey, they got way more of that than the positive, yo. So think about it. It's not just hip hop. It's life, period, man. What's negative and what's unhealthy, there's always going to be more of that. And it's always going to get pushed upon our community to make us say, yep, I want to justify why I love this. When I was a little kid, I was justifying why I love McDonald's because of the Happy Meals. I was justifying it. My mama was justifying it because, oh, their food is cheap. Of course, we can go there. $1.39. I can get y'all some off this menu. Bet. We start to justify the negativity and the poison. And when you get it to where you justifying what is bad for you and you consuming this delicious poison, That's when the enemy got you. Got you. Got you. Y'all justifying it. Y'all are craving it now. Y'all ain't even wanting what's better. Y'all looking at that like, that's lame. They ain't got as many of them, so they must not be doing something right. Twisted way of thinking, yo.
When you look at hip hop, what are some of the main things right now that you personally got an issue with?
I have an issue with the glorification of murder inside of hip hop. There is a difference between narration and glorification. We have to be able to distinguish the two. Narration allows people to talk about what's going on in the community, talk about what is going on in their life. Glorification is saying, hey, I'm going to paint this picture in a way that makes this seem like it's something cool and makes this seem like it's something desirable to be doing. So the glorification of murder inside of hip hop is not cool. The glorification of drug dealing inside of hip hop is not cool. The glorification of disrespecting women or sexual irresponsibility that's coming from women inside of hip hop, that's not cool. It's just not. And if anybody is saying it's cool, then you just addicted to the poison. Because ain't no way in the world that's cool. That's my thing. We can tell these stories. We can talk about what's going on, what we've been through without having to glorify it, yo. I mean, think about it. I don't know if you see the difference, because when you glorify something and you have a big platform, it instantly becomes sexy and it instantly becomes appealing to a lot of the people who are looking at you because you got the platform. I'm on screen right now. So instantly what I say holds a level of weight that make people say, well, I mean, he's on this platform, so he must be somebody. He must know what he's talking about. And it could make people say, all right, I got to take his words more seriously just because he's on this platform. That's the same thing that happens inside of hip hop. These artists are given a huge platform and the industry is praying that they'll sell their people out. The industry is praying that you'll say something strange for a little piece of change. You hear me? The industry is praying, bro. They're praying like, come on, man, just be a pawn in our game. Because you the one that's going to make it look good. You the one that's going to be able to get the fans to follow behind you. All we could do is pay you and give you a little bit of fame. That's all the industry can offer you. It's some bread and some fame. And they just hoping that you'll say yes and not care about what type of impact you have. And that's what we got, man. I want better for us. I want better for our artists. I love each and every one of them. I want better for us though, man. And you got to understand how you're being used in order sometimes to say, whoa, now that I see that, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with it. I'm not going to let that slide no more. And as fans, you got to understand how you're being impacted by this. How can we cry when Nipsey Hussle dies? How can we cry when Takeoff dies? How can we say we need to stop the violence when P&B Rock gets murdered, but then turn around and want to constantly make and consume music that glorifies what just happened to those brothers? Make it make sense to me.